Okay,
The door's not, the front door isn't open.
7 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Give Ed a minute. Give Ed a minute.
Okay,
It's very urgent matters.
yes.
Commissioner Schussler, for those who...
Oh. Did you record that? Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the May 7th, once if you're listening, meeting of the Orland Park Plan Commission. Everybody would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we'll begin things with our roll call. So I'm Chairman Parisi, and I'm here. Vice Chairman Schussler.
Here.
Commissioner Paul.
Here.
Commissioner Zamparelli called and let us know that he couldn't make it. Commissioner Zatar are you here, Joe? Here. Here, okay. Commissioner Sanchez?
Here.
And Commissioner Nugent is not present. Okay.
And just for the purposes of the remote participation policy, Commissioner Zatar, can you announce your reason for your participation by electronic means? Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll call the meeting to order. First round of business. We all received copies of the minutes of our March 19th meeting. We've all had a chance to review those minutes. So I will, Commissioner Nugent has joined the meeting. Again, we've all had a chance to review the minutes. So I will look for a motion to approve those minutes or correct them. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Paul, seconded by Commissioner Schussler. I'll do a roll call if you're in favor. Commissioner Sanchez? Aye. Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Commissioner Parisi? Aye. Commissioner Schussler?
Aye.
Commissioner Nugent? Aye. Commissioner Zatar? Excuse me?
He abstains in absence.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me.
Minutes.
Good. Okay. Right, I have it.
19.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Commissioner Nugent, you need to abstain as well. Thank you, Joe. Okay, since there's not people from the public here, but generally, I've done this, and what we're going to do, and we don't have to do it tonight, but before we start our meeting, I like to just have everybody, advise everybody of the process and the procedure, you know, when they're called and, you know, and you know, what the rules for being acknowledged are and all. You know, we want to do that before every meeting so everybody understands that. So with that, I will open public hearing number 2024-0349, substantive amendment, recategorize gazebos in definitions and accessory structures. Staff.
All right.
Second.
I would like to begin by respectfully requesting that the staff report be accepted into the record as written and as presented during this meeting. Development Services is proposing a code amendment pertaining to gazebos as shown on the accessory structure table in section 6302 C1B. Currently in the Land Development Code, gazebos are categorized in the accessory structure table with playhouses, tree houses, and open-sided summer houses. Our staff believes that categorizing gazebos with playhouses, tree houses, and open-sided summer houses unnecessarily prohibits gazebos in certain zoning districts. The proposed code amendment would relocate gazebos with the accessory structure category, arbors, pergolas, and trellises. In categorizing gazebos with this group, it will additionally limit gazebos not to exceed 15 feet or the height of the principal structure, whichever is less. Staff recommended action regarding case number 2024-0349. Staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated May 2nd, 2024. And staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the Land Development Code amendments for Section 2102 and Section 6203.c as presented in the attached amendment report.
I'm just making certain that we won't, I don't know that that doesn't call for a motion at this time.
The staff recommended motion, or the recommended motion regarding case number 2024-0349. I move to support the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
It looks like there's something about mailing requirements.
Yeah, so there's a small correction in there. The first item on the Plan Commission recommended actions and motion sheet is actually for the recategorizing gazebos in the definitions. That was actually just a typo from a previous template, but it was since updated after the agenda was published.
Okay.
Okay. Well then, in that case, regarding item 2024-0349, I move to approve the staff recommendation action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez?
Aye.
Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Commissioner Parisi? Aye. Commissioner Schussler?
Aye.
Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Commissioner Zatar? Aye. Okay. It's unanimous. I move that we close public hearing number 2024-0349.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Zatar? Aye. Aye, okay. I move that we open public hearing number 2024-0350, substantive amendment, allow hens in residential districts via health, police, and development regulations.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez? Aye. Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Commissioner Schuster?
Aye.
Commissioner Parisi? Aye. Staff? Commissioner Zatar, I'm sorry. Aye. Thank you, sir. Staff?
I would like to begin by respectfully requesting that the staff report be accepted into the records as written and as presented during this meeting. Development Services is proposing a village code amendment that would allow residents to keep hens, assuming that all regulations that are listed in the proposed amendment are being met. Development Services has had regular chickens throughout the past years. The allowing of hens will be a village code amendment and not an amendment to the Land Development Code, as hens are not mentioned in the Land Development Code and are only referenced in the Village Code currently. However, a code amendment to the Land Development Code, Section 6302E, is being proposed for clarity. This section regulates pet shelters and facilities for the keeping of dogs, cats, and other small animals. Staff wants to clarify that this section will not regulate hens and instead reference residents to the Village Code section that regulates the keeping of hens. Staff recommended action regarding case number 2024-0350. Staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated May 2nd, 2024, and staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the Land Development Code amendments for Section 6-302.e as presented in the attached amendments report.
Will there be any presentation on these individual items
I just have a question.
by our guests,
None of these are guests, they're all staff.
by our staff? If you wanted to get in detail. I mean, we all had it, we all read it, but I'd go to you first, and then I will go to our commissioners. Everybody have any comments?
I'm just wondering where this came from. never realized chickens were an issue here. Seriously, like, what brought this about?
It was residents inquiring, and we are aware of people within the village that do have chickens currently as well.
Okay.
I can tell you, when I was on the village board, which the last time was 2015, and I was on the board for 17 years, there were constant inquiries about chickens,
Okay.
keeping chickens. There's people that are into, the ecology thing, I guess you'd say. They want to raise their own eggs. And they were always told the same thing. Village code doesn't allow it. And then you'd hear, but I have a question
Please,
for that.
Commissioner Schussler.
This proposal seems to be discriminatory.
Extremely what?
Discriminatory.
Against?
Roosters.
Well, I mean, she's looking at me like discriminatory. What are you talking about? Well, I'm looking down here at number 2 on, where it's 8-4, 15-2, keeping of hens. And number 2 says roosters are prohibited. Isn't that discriminatory?
Okay.
I think we
Thank you,
discussed
Commissioner
that.
Schussler. We all needed that.
That's my only comment.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Paul.
regarding case number 2024-0350.
Before you continue.
Yes.
I will say, you were asking what brought it out, we're growing, we are still a growing village, larger and everything. And, a lot of these things need to be addressed to just establish some uniformity in the village. And in reading a lot of the text, a lot of it was for the purpose of streamlining and also removing ambiguous language. So I think it was to clean up the individual regulations as well, and I think you did a good job. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Okay. I move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Paul, seconded by Commissioner Schussler. Commissioner Sanchez?
I'm okay with the hens. Aye.
Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Jim Parisi? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Commissioner Zatar? Aye. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. I move that we close public hearing number 2024-0350.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. I move that we open public hearing number 2024-0351, substantive amendment, allow townhomes in the Old Orland Historic District.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez?
Aye.
Commissioner Paul? Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Parisi? Aye. Commissioner Schussler?
Aye.
And Commissioner Nugent.
Aye.
Staff?
And
Oh, Commission, I'll get used to this, Joe, I really apologize. Commissioner Zatar. Thank you, sir. Staff?
First, I would like to begin by requesting that the staff report be entered into the record as written. The goal of this amendment is to allow townhomes within the Old Orland Historic District in specific areas outlined on a new map that will replace the existing map in the code. The map that's shown in the staff report included commercial areas, but has since been revised to not include these commercial areas along 143rd Place. So the replacement map is actually up on the screen right now. And the proposed amendment aligns with preserving the character of the area while accommodating additional living choices besides having strictly single-family or strictly multifamily within Old Orland. Townhomes add a transitional housing type between that single-family and multifamily housing type that align with our comprehensive plan goals as well as the downtown planning district goals, with the added benefit of close proximity to the 143rd Street train station as well as the future downtown Orland Park. If approved, the townhome construction must go through a certificate of appropriateness review, as all items do within the Old Orland district. And any proposed building in the district must complement that existing architectural style and character of Old Orland. And Here's a picture of the existing townhomes that are within the Old Orland district. These townhomes are actually legal non-conforming within the district because they were approved prior to the Old Orland zoning district.
May I ask why they're non-conforming?
They were approved, I believe it was R6 zoning prior to the Old Orland Historic District zoning.
It was, I can tell you why that was
Commissioner
done.
Schuessler?
The developer came in with a proposal that the board felt at the time was complementary to the architecture in the historic district, so they allowed it.
Thank you,
We allowed it, I was on the board.
thank you.
And we believe it still is complementary to the district.
Okay.
And future ones would be as well. And here's just a table of uses within the Old Orland district. We would just be adding this one line for townhomes, and we'd be referencing the new map. And for the recommended motion, staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve the Land Development Code amendments for Section 6209 and 6209B as presented in the amendment report.
In going through the reports that you sent us and everything, there was the old map that was deleted. You might understand it was deleted because it had commercial properties in it?
Correct, yeah. We would like to maintain the mixed-use district of Old Orland. So instead of replacing commercial with residential, we'd like to keep that commercial area as well.
I was trying to visualize this, because, for instance, if you go down Beacon Street off 143rd, there's commercial properties, there's antique shops. But towards the end of the block, there's that pretty good-sized empty lot that at one time, they came before us, they were going to put a building there with residential on the second floor and commercial on the first floor. That never went through. Is that an area that this would apply to?
No,
No, so it would only be the townhomes in the blue. The red areas on the map, the current map, and this one on the slide. You can do multifamily, which would be, you could do multifamily or mixed use, similar to that property that was once approved on Beacon. It would be, you could do office on a first floor and residential above. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any comments from our commissioners? Yes, John, Commissioner Nugent.
So,
Commissioner Zatar, why don't we let you go first?
yep.
Whether we do or not, I'm not sure, but whether we do or not, this will lay the groundwork for, if they are, where they're able to do it. This establishes, the rules of where they can do it. Whether or not we have somebody now, and I understand your question, but. You're curious what? What drove the effort?
Correct. It can lay out the groundwork for future development as well as bring in non-conforming development up to compliance.
Did you get that, Commissioner Zatar? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Nugent?
So a couple things. I'm very familiar with the pocket. And so I had a couple things for it. Even though I read it, I felt better I would ask about it. So what we're going to prove is without the big X. And what's in the page is the same as up there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, and I know that the numbers are contributing structures. Those are the numbers from the past, even though we missed some properties, but that's another story. So if you're now red colored, not red colored building, you're considered commercial zoning within the historic district, or you're just exempt from the townhouse aspect of the district zoning? So we're gonna give everyone the same zoning, but we're gonna tell you people that are red, you people can't be townhomes? Because I thought the commercial, like at the corner of 144th and Oak, the vacant parcel, what's allowed there?
143rd and Oak,
144th and Oak has no colors. It's behind the Beacon properties. So it's vacant,
that would be residential.
so he can only build houses.
Correct.
So even though the people next door to him can build an office, he can only build a house?
Correct.
Okay. And then, so everyone on Oak, there's actually 3 structures, but 5 lots on Oak. The one lot might be 2 lots, but it's owned by the same person. So the 5 structures on Oak have to be houses as they are, and they can only be replaced with houses, right?
You can build a new house there as well.
Because I was always under the impression that 144th to 143rd had the commercial zoning. So are we taking commercial zoning away from them? Or were they only?
We're not, no, this, so for example, the property on West Avenue, former Bill's Barber Shop, that one is red and blue on this map. That can be either commercial or residential or townhouse.
Curiosity, that just sold? Do we know what that person wants to do with it?
I wasn't aware that it just sold.
It closed like December.
Okay.
So there's a new owner. Well, the thing is, here's part of why it matters. 5 of the properties in here have either just sold or on the market. So if we're making changes, I mean, we're talking right now. I mean, the place that was the resale shop, which is a house that became a 2-flat, which was used as a resale shop that kind of had an apartment. Now we're telling them, I think that's number 5. It's red. So someone has bought that, and right now it's the decorate your exterior of your house lights thing. They kind of have like an apartment upstairs. So what use are we telling those people they're supposed to be doing? That just sold in November.
So it's a permitted commercial area. You could still do residential or commercial or both. So you just cannot do, I believe it's first floor residential on certain areas.
Okay.
If you're doing both commercial and residential, the residential would have to be upstairs.
They own the vacant lot on the corner, so they bought that with it. So the vacant lot can only be built as, since there's no structure, it has to be commercial?
It can be, it's permitted
Big
for
mixed use
commercial, so it could be residential or commercial or mixed use.
So the other corner 5 is the dental office, and it's a cute little house, and it was used as a dental office. He did a restoration. They just sold months ago. I mean, I'm saying, I mean, these things, the reason why I'm saying is, and like Commissioner Zatar asked, there's a lot of activity that just happened here, and I want to make sure the people that just bought didn't buy with a perception, and we've now created another, or we don't create limits that they didn't have.
Yeah, we're actually not changing anything in the red.
Okay, yes.
Nothing in the red is all existing on the current map. If you go to, in the Plan Commission report, the map with the big red X on it actually has all of the same commercial areas that are permitted
Okay.
previously
so-
and currently. The only change now would be the blue area, which would be townhomes are permitted. You don't have to do a townhome, but if you are interested in doing one, it is permitted.
So the property that says number 13 on Beacon, it doesn't show there, but in front of it is Mitchell's Flowers. Mitchell's already owned 13, and it's been used as a house with some storage. Mitchell's just bought the next 3 houses. The people that were marketing it said it was approved for townhomes, which was always false, it wasn't. But those 3 are still used as houses, and they've never been converted. So they can retain their house status. I believe Mitchell's are renting them, but.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
those are houses. Why did we draw the line there when there's one more house north of 144th? So why did we give the 3 properties that just sold a special status, but the next house not?
So we,
The house
I'm not
next to
aware of
14
when-
is technically north of 144th. So we're splitting the zoning between 2 houses on one side of a street?
yeah, it's an interesting, it was actually permitted commercial for, I'm not sure when the original amendment to this was, but that was always the commercial dedicated area of Beacon Avenue. And yeah, we just have not altered any of that.
And part of this, I think I know the answers, but sometimes I've told you guys before, I'll ask you something because I want to know that was on the record if anybody watches. So I want to flip to the west side of the railroad tracks. It's not a hidden fact that the owners of the properties on that block in the village have had disputes. And there's mixed views. There's people that are concerned that these old properties be restored. So that south side 143rd place, there's actually 3 commercial structures and 2 non-conforming 2-flats. So that whole block now is zoned commercial, and it was commercial. The building on the corner and the second building are used as 2-flats, and they're the only 2-flats in the entire village. So are they legal 2-flats until they sell?
They
Well, actually,
will-
they did sell. They sold a few years ago. So the one man
they're-
owns the entire block now.
Which street are you on, John?
143rd place west of the tracks. And again, these
saying-
things matter because,
On the south side
Are you
of
saying next to
143rd?
is this to the west of the Dewan Hookah?
right, so the angled building next to the tracks is that general store. That's one of their favorite buildings in Old Orland. He owns that. Then it has like a long caboose thing that had the habuka, whatever that word is,
Yeah, the hookah bar.
and they got shut down. Then he owns that whole side of the street. And I'm under the impression the reason why he acquired the next two non-conforming structures was to build townhomes. So are we doing this so he can't build townhomes? Because he can't build townhomes now, right?
Currently with this, the map, he would not be able to.
And his corner two structures, which he acquired, are both non-conforming two flats, or the only two flats in the entire village. Are they allowed to remain two flats?
They are allowed to remain 2 flats.
And he bought them, so they kept their non-conforming status upon transfer? Can you transfer?
Sale does not affect status, use affects status.
Okay, so if he bought them as two flats and kept them as two flats, it's
Yep.
allowed? Okay. And then, so everybody blue over there, though, can be townhomes. So those are the only people we're doing for townhomes?
At this time, yes.
I have a question. Are you done?
No, my last one is next to number 6. The house between 5 and 6 is a house, not commercial. So the same, no, that's the wrong one. I guess it's number 7. Wait, so what side of the street is that? So if it's 143rd place across the street from him, you got a mixed-use commercial, and the corner is a house. So he's always a house, he's still a house. So he gets to stay a house, but he can sell it for commercial, obviously, then, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm good. Current owners and future owners, I want to have clarity, and clarity's on the record. So, okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Schussler?
Yeah, I have a question regarding the colors, and sort of touches on what he was talking about. There seems to be a purple color, and if we look at where Bill's Barber Shop used to be, that's kind of not blue and it's not red. It's kind of like both colors. What is that Bill's Barber Shop property? What is that?
That would be permitted commercial area and permitted townhome area.
It could
So it'd be like an overlay of both colors.
All right, so the ones that are really purple are either or,
Correct.
either commercial or townhouse.
In Bill's Barbershop, because we actually amended the map to, from the staff report to what's up on the screen now, to remove the east side of 143rd place.
The east side,
It'd be north or south.
From,
So only that square with Bill's Barber Shop is the only purple on the entire map?
correct.
Only that.
So then I'm going to do clarity. I'm going to jump over
Not
Commissioner
purple anymore.
Schussler. So the gentleman that owns
what?
the entire block of 9943rd Place South Side, so the general store, the hookah shop, and the two non-conforming two flats. So he does have mixed zoning, so he supposedly wants to build townhomes. So someday, if we allow him to tear down the structures, because he's got, none of those structures are protected on that block?
No.
Even the general store? It's one of the favorite buildings in town. Okay, so that whole block, he can tear down his whole block and build townhomes someday.
Currently, it would be permitted commercial area. What is shown on the PowerPoint is actually what we're going to be approving. What is shown in the staff report was actually an error on our end. We revised,
Oh, because he's red and he's not.
yeah. So the only actual purple property on this map would be where former Bill's Barber Shop was.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Commissioner Schussler? Do you have,
I'm still confused. You said the only purple now is where Bill's Barber Shop was. So all of this property over here on both sides of 143rd Place that Commissioner Nugent was talking about, that is now removed from the commercial area, and it's only going to be townhouse?
Correct. For this, sorry for the confusion. So we changed the map after this agenda was printed. So west of Brook Avenue would be blue, where the townhomes are. East of Brook Avenue would be just the red in that area and remaining as it is now.
Okay. Yeah, it is confusing.
I'm sorry.
So Bill's Barber Shop is the only either or.
Correct.
Okay.
And the revised map is shown, it might be a little bit difficult to see from here, but
And
there's
if
a
you wanna
screen
turn
behind you
around,
as well.
right behind you.
it's easier to see behind you, Ed.
Could be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it is easier to see when you're looking right at it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Sanchez, anything?
No.
Commissioner Paul?
No.
Commissioner Zatar? Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Schussler?
regarding case number 2024-0351, move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schussler, second by Commissioner Paul to approve. Commissioner Sanchez? Aye. Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Commissioner Parisi, aye. Commissioner Schussler?
Aye.
Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Commissioner Zatar? Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you. I move that we close public hearing number 2024-0351.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Paul, in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. I move that we open public hearing number 2024-0352, substantive amendment, increase parking lot aisle width for 90-degree parking spaces.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Thank you. Staff?
I would like to begin with this amendment by requesting that the staff report be entered into the record. The goal of this amendment is to increase the drive aisle widths for 90-degree parking spaces where parking is permitted on both sides of a drive aisle. And that would be from 22 feet to 24 feet or 60 feet across. We have received plenty of feedback regarding the width of certain parking lots throughout the village and difficulty navigating these areas. Additionally, the 22-foot drive aisle results in some safety concerns. It does cause traffic buildup within parking lots. Currently, planning and engineering have been requesting 24-foot parking lot aisle widths for all active and recently approved projects. But we're now just looking to codify this change and make it the minimum for 90-degree parking. And staff recommends that the Plan Commission approve this Land Development Code Amendment for Table 6306CA as presented in the amendment report.
Any comments from my commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Schussler?
I think it's long overdue. In addition to that, have you also considered making the width of the parking spaces a little bit wider, say 9.5 feet instead of 9 feet?
We could definitely look into that change.
You're looking at that now?
Yeah, I believe it was brought up recently by another commissioner, correct? I think it was Commissioner Zamparelli, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I
not
think
part of the current case, but that's something we can add for future consideration.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we didn't have the public hearing notice in time.
I'd encourage you to look at that because when you talk about traffic delays with people holding up the line behind them because they're having trouble negotiating in and out of parking spaces, that situation applies also to the tight spaces they're trying to get into, in addition to the problem of having room behind them to make their turn. So we had them 10 feet at one time, we went down to 9. I personally think a good compromise is 9.5. It would certainly go a long way toward eliminating a lot of delays and people getting in and out of parking spaces. And the other thing that really convinced me was frequently what you'll see is wasted parking spaces because somebody who has a larger SUV, in order to get out of their vehicle, they will shift their vehicle to the right side of the parking space. Well, sometimes they shift it so far that it wastes that space on the right side, and nobody can park there
That's true.
unless you've got an extremely small, compact, subcompact car. So I think for the same reason we're doing this, I think would be a good reason to make the spaces a little bit wider going forward.
I think in conjunction with that, however, if we were to consider that, we'd have to consider what we're requiring for minimum number of parking spaces per this type of building or that type of building, because that would obviously limit the number of spaces that you could fit. And so those two would have to work hand in hand. You know, and I understand Commissioner Schussler's concern, and, you know, I've been a victim of them large SUVs. Anybody else?
We all have.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
I just had a question on it.
Oh, I'm
Since we're
sorry,
here.
Commissioner Schussler.
Oh, Nugent. Oh, did you have, I thought you were gonna, I
Question.
thought you were gonna call for a vote.
He was calling for a vote, but you said you had a question.
So Panera, our infamous Panera Smash Burger area, is that 22 or 24?
It's 22.
Okay, so we see how that could benefit, and then that could benefit the 9.5 as well. But one of the things we need to do is, like, it's not meant as an insult, you guys should go on a field trip. You should go to peak times for the businesses. Now, granted, that became all restaurants. It's daily that if you're pulling in and out of spaces, so if you go between the big restaurant and so Smash Burgers first, it's not uncommon that people backing up or turning have issues with each other. Or if you come out of the, whatever the chicken canes, and you want to go towards Panera and that area there, that should be a field study in what did we do wrong? Because we failed there. We did. We failed the community. I get feedback from it. Zamparelli says he gets feedback. The businesses are all successful, and we plan parking for behind it. It's not even so much that it fills up. That's not really the issue. The issue is, like, if you go to back up, you see it all. I see it all the time. I do the SIP Club. It's a great value. But people hit the corners all the time. It's daily, all the time. So as you back up and someone's coming from whatever that white former bank buildings, you know, they're coming from that direction. So I guess it's east coming north. Sometimes it's like not enough room to pass each other, and if someone's pulling up. I consider the parking situation there a failure. I mean, and I don't mean it as an insult, but we need to look at, so like as you come in from the new Middle Eastern theme, whatever that road's called, if you come in from there, as you come in there and you go to turn, then you're making, you know, we make them turn, then we make them turn again. I think we're trying to avoid traffic, but I think we cause traffic by trying to avoid it. But I think overall we failed, and we need to look at how do we use that as an example? Because like Denny's is for sale, you know, and whatever's going to happen there, so maybe one use. But I just, as looking at this, I know we're making the change. I'm just like, it's, you know, and maybe we need more parking, and we need to figure out how their parking going west worked. But I consider that our fault, the mess that's there. And all the restaurants are successful. So anyway, that was just, and again, I'm not insulting and I'm not lecturing. I do go there. I go there 3 to 5 times a week, and it's always a mess. I mean, unless you go non-peak time and there are enough people, it's always a mess.
It is a bit challenging, that's for sure.
Yeah.
However, I am,
We need to look at that and figure out how do we not
Yeah.
duplicate that?
having said so, I mean, you know, I'm glad that it hasn't affected the success of those restaurants, thank goodness.
I think because they're all popular.
Yeah. But, yeah, as we go along, I think,
And it's not a safety issue, so that's good. I mean,
no, but I
no
think when
one's
issues
running-
like this come up, I think it's more of a learning opportunity for us when they do occur, you know?
I think, so as you come in, you make the turns,
Sure.
Now you add it to our 22 inches and our 9-foot spots. It's just,
Sure.
we should have critiqued the design of the parking lot more.
Okay.
Even though it looks fine on paper, it doesn't work in reality.
No, I agree. Commissioner
Chairman?
Schussler, you had something to add?
Yeah, I would just agree with Commissioner Nugent. I think, unfortunately, hindsight is always 20/20. So I think we missed the ball there when we were batting. One of the problems, I think, with that development, and one of the things that we accepted when we approved that development, is it's always a kind of a mushy area when you talk about shared parking. It's much, you're shaking your head, so I think you agree. If you're dealing with a single-use facility, the one he mentioned, the Denny's, is at some point going to get redeveloped, and that'll be a single use. It's much easier to figure out your traffic concerns, your traffic flow and all that stuff. When you've got shared parking and you're trying to figure out, okay, we've got a couple of dinner places, we've got a couple of lunch places, we've got one that might be both. How is that going to affect the parking during different hours? And it's kind of a crapshoot, I think, for you guys to, try and figure that out. And you got the developer who's trying to maximize every single inch of his space and cram in as much as he can possibly cram in. And you're having to push back and say, we don't think that'll work. I think in retrospect, I agree with Commissioner Nugent that it's not a good layout for traffic moving around on the site because we're squeezing 10 pounds into a 5-pound bag. There's just too much dense development there to adequately allow for good traffic flow and in and out. But we learned. I mean, we approved it. This commission approved it. You recommended it. We approved it. And we all had good intentions when we did that. But it's a good example of what doesn't work.
Sure. Yeah, we have a number of properties in the village that are restricted by the amount of space you are allowed to pave on. And that's an example of one, actually. And I know that at the time, our staff and everybody analyzed the situation and made what they thought was the best choice at the time. And one thing, I know we are guided by the need to be responsible and the desire to be fair. And as I said, a situation might occur here and there, and we take it as a learning block, that's all. And fortunately, those restaurants are all thriving, so I know their owners are happy with the decision they made. Anybody else have comment, any other commissioner? No?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Schuessler?
Recommend, regarding case number 2024-0352, I move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to this Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schuessler, seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, no, it's unanimous. Thank you. I move we close case number 2024-0352.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
No opposition, okay. I move we open public hearing number 2024-0353, substantive amendment, update garages on the accessory structure and uses table.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. In favor?
Aye.
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 I don't hear any nays. Okay. Staff?
I would like to begin by respectfully requesting that the staff report be accepted into the record as written and as presented during this meeting. Development Services is proposing a code amendment pertaining to garages as shown on the accessory structure table in section 6302.c.1a and section 6302c1b. Currently in the Land Development Code, the accessory structure tables pertaining to garages does not indicate whether garages are permitted with conditions, or not permitted use. The proposed amendment will allow garages to be permitted with conditions in all zoning districts. Additionally, the accessory structure restrictions for garages as listed in section 6302C13 can be unclear on the regulations, and the proposed code amendment will list the garage restrictions based on size, height, setbacks, and number of vehicles allowed. This section is only being reformatted and no new information is being added. Staff recommended action regarding case number 2024-0353. Staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Plan Commission meeting and within the staff report dated May 2nd, 2024. And staff recommends the Plan Commission approve the Land Development Code amendments for Table 6302C1A, Table 6302C1B, and Section 6302C13 as presented in the attached amended report.
Thank you. All of the commissioners had a chance to review this, along with the attachments. And I will ask our commissioners if they have anything that they wanted to ask or comment on this. I'll start with Commissioner Zatar. Okay. Thanks, Joe. Commissioner Sanchez.
No, sir, no questions.
Commissioner Paul.
I just like that it's tied, that the size of the garages are tied to the size of the lot. 4 or 5 car garage in some areas be perfectly okay. Other areas, it would look really, really dumb. So I like that, it makes sense to do it that way.
As well as the orientation makes sense.
Yeah.
Commissioner Schussler.
Good example of how times change. I can remember when a 3-car garage was a special use. Somebody came in with a proposal for a 3-car garage, they needed special permission. And then they got special permission, but their driveway width at the curb had to be 2 cars wide. And now we've got people who are putting in 4-car garages that have bigger lots, as Commissioner Paul mentioned. And that's appropriate. If you have a bigger lot, fine, you can accommodate more structure. So I think that this is a good, reasonable change.
Thank you. Commissioner Nugent.
Couple questions. So I know that Old Orland is allowed detached garages, and I think the market will pretty much demand attached garages for all of our other zoning districts. I thought I was under the impression that a new structure can't have a detached garage. So they can?
They can.
Growing up, they obviously all have attached garages, but can you build a new house in town with a detached garage?
Yes, you can. Yeah, no one's permitted to not have a detached garage. Some are permitted to only have a detached or attached, but it would be their decision.
Okay. Orland Hills and Orland Park, the streets that start with the letter H, Holiday, Huntington, and all that. It's pretty much our only neighborhood where 1-car garages predominate. And unlike other towns, maybe 5 to 10% of the people even have the lot width to convert their attached garage and put up their detached garage. I read it, and I should read in detail, but I just wanted to clarify, and we once had an issue with this before, but if I live in Orland Hills of Orland Park, which is about 149th, 153rd, west to west, and I have, in my view, the space to put up a detached garage and convert my attached garage, we didn't change that, right? Because most of those people that have converted in the past or now, their new driveway is at the lot line. So is that an issue? I think it came up with driveways before.
Nothing has been made more restrictive for the residents in this code amendment.
So they have the same rights they had before.
If they were permitted it prior, they're permitted it still with the way this code amendment has been written.
And my last question, it would apply to areas like Fernway, where they have half-acre lots. So if I currently have an attached garage, so there are more open zonings, but that's probably like R3 or 3A out there because they have larger lots.
Yeah, they're half-acre lots.
They're half-acre lots. So I can pluck up as long as I fit, I can keep my attached garage and add a detached garage?
No. Unless you are over 21,780 square feet. So it'd just be lot specific. If that lot is over 21,780 square feet, then they can have both. If they're under that, then they would have to choose between attached or detached.
So they'd have to convert the attached if they wanted a new detached.
Correct.
Okay. We probably picked that number for a reason. So maybe the people in Fernway are 20, so we did that on purpose. Okay, that's one of the only areas where people could really add a detached and keep their attached. Okay.
You know, not too many, I'm sure you know this, John, not too many years ago, there was a new house built on around 144th and Rainey's Lane. Brand new, nice house, and they also built a detached garage.
It was on Westwood Drive.
And what?
Westwood Drive.
Was that Westwood? Okay, you know the house I'm talking about. Next door.
The
to
whole
it-
house has.
Next door, there's an empty lot because there's a propane pipeline, there's a pipeline going through the one next door, but there's also a bog next door.
Not exactly. Those 2 lots were, there were houses on there that were purchased by the village
Right.
because they continually flooded, and the village sold the 1 lot, and the builder put up a house with a detached garage, and all the rest of the neighborhood has attached garages.
Did that builder need a special exemption to do that?
I don't think so.
No.
No, okay.
Do we require a garage with new construction? Can you just do parking?
Might not be marketable.
Yeah, we do not require a garage.
Because there's,
We do require off-street parking, so driveway or
I'm
parking
having a brain
space.
freeze, but where the steel, the engineering company is that 167? Yeah, right? The business out there, 167?
And what?
Between 104th and 108th? Because there's a house over there, newer, like maybe 10 years old, that was built without a garage. It's a lot of house, and there's zero garage. So we don't require one, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Paul?
regarding case number 2024-0353, I move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Do parking.
Motion by Commissioner Paul, seconded by Commissioner Sanchez to approve this change. Nugent?
Aye.
Commissioner Schussler?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
And Commissioner Sanchez?
Aye.
And Commissioner Zatar? Aye. Thank you all. I move that we close public hearing number 2024-0353.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Good. Okay. I move that we close public hearings.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez?
Aye.
Commissioner Sanchez? Commissioner Sanchez. Commissioner Nugent?
Aye.
Commissioner Schussler?
Aye.
Commissioner Zatar? Commissioner Paul?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. I move that we open non-public hearings with non-public hearing number 2024-0359.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Okay. And we open with Village of Orland Park Hostert Cabin Restoration, 14701 West Avenue, Certificate of Appropriateness. Staff.
I would like to begin by respectfully requesting that the staff report be accepted into the record as written and as presented during the meeting. The petitioner, who is the Village of Orland Park, is seeking approval of a certificate of appropriateness for minor work on a landmark structure. The Jacob and Bernard Hostert cabins are located at 14701 West Avenue. The existing zoning is OS Open Space District. Under the comprehensive plan, the location falls under the Downtown Planning District with a land designation of open space, parks, and recreation. For wayfinding, the cabins are located by the Star, and Village Hall is located at the lower right-hand corner. There are 2 cabins. Some background information on the cabins: they are replicas of the kinds of homes early settlers of the area would have lived in circa 1850s. The cabins were designated landmark status to preserve the village's cultural heritage and character. Here's the existing conditions of the Jacob Hostert cabin. The cabins have rotted and damaged logs, chinking, decay, and other like issues. Here's the existing conditions of the Bernard Hostert cabin, similar issues with the rotted and damaged logs, chinking, decay, and other like issues. Per section 6209G1, the review and approval process for contributing structures and landmarks for minor work require Plan Commission and Board approval. Minor work is defined as changes that do not have a substantial impact on the exterior appearance of the structure or site, including alteration, addition, or removal of exterior architectural elements such as doors, windows, fences, skylights, siding, exterior stairs, roofs, and tuck pointing, etc. The proposed work is mostly routine maintenance, with the addition of removing and replacing the roof on the Jacob Hostert cabin. The total scope of work includes repair to the chinking, roof replacement, replacement of rotting logs, cleaning and staining, application of boards to the wood, and rechinking on all logs. All like materials will be used, and the appearance of the cabins will not be changed, nor will the surrounding area be affected. The staff recommended action regarding case number 2024-0359, also known as the Hostert Cabin Restoration. Staff recommends to accept and make findings of fact as discussed at this Planning Commission meeting and within the staff report dated May 3rd, 2024. And staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness.
Thank you. We've been provided with a pretty detailed discussion. This, a good bit of history and some attachments that we can, some visual attachments that help us understand what's going on here. Let us see we're doing it. So I will just ask my fellow commissioners, any comments on this issue? Commissioner Zatar? Excuse me, Joe? Thank you. Commissioner Sanchez?
Who's going to be doing the actual maintenance work to these?
We have to go out to RFP with it to see who is awarded. We haven't gotten that far.
Okay. That's all.
Commissioner Paul, anything?
These are nice, you gotta maintain them, otherwise we're having a discussion like we did a few years ago on the Bully Farm.
Yeah,
Take care of them now. These are nice,
good point.
never have them back again.
Sure, that's true. Commissioner Schussler?
In a discussion, there's a section that talks about proposed future re-subdivision.
Yes,
Right.
there is.
And it talks about something about the next page, but I think it's the map right underneath in our handout. Is that correct? If you look at the page where it says.
Yeah, a
proposed-
future rezoning and re-subdivision of the land to clean up the lot
This is-
lines. Yes,
That's the proposed?
yes.
Okay.
In the
how-
future.
So the cabins we're talking about will be in something called open space zoning, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. In front of the cabins is a building that right now is used by, I think it's used by the Parks and Rec people, and it's proposed to be the new Veterans Center. Is that going to be a non-conforming use within the open space zoning?
I don't believe so, no.
No. You know the answer to this one, Marcus?
Marcus?
The Veterans Center,
The
we did-
proposed new Veterans Center.
yeah, there was actually a code amendment. We do allow civic and fraternal nonprofit organizations within the open space district now.
Okay, well, I think it's going to be, continue to be owned by the village, and it'll just be leased at a very nominal amount to the VFW and the American Legion. But that won't affect this proposal for that to be open space zoning.
Correct.
Okay. Second question. At Ravinia, just south of 144th Place, there is an historic building that is kind of sitting out of place there. I think it used to be an old milk barn. Is there a proposal to do, I guess that'll be in this open space zoning. It's an historic building that the village acquired, moved in off an old farm about 30 years ago. Is there any plan to do any restoration of that building? It's kind of all boarded up now.
Yeah, that's the old Chiapetti slaughterhouse.
Yes,
It's the old what?
Old Chiapetti slaughterhouse.
I said a milk barn, it was you're right, it's a slaughterhouse, yeah.
For a while, that was used at another location. The village moved it right off of the bike path on Ravinia.
Right.
We're recording this meeting, so if you speak into the mic, we could,
The Chiapetti Slaughterhouse is right off of Ravinia that was put there, I don't know an exact date, but we're working with Public Works right now to get some pricing on making the doors and the windows more accessible. Although we won't have tours of it, We want to be able to put interpretive signage on there, put some artifacts that the Chiappetti family still has, get those in there, interpret the slaughterhouse, and then kind of figure out what the price is for that, and then bring that here if any significant changes are occurring to it. But we do want to put electric in there so people can see inside of it as well.
You know, that really should be over by the Hostard cabins, but it isn't, because a prior mayor by the name of Fred Owens decided it should be there because it was a different historic area than the Hostard cabins. So at great expense, the village moved it to where it is now, and we're stuck with it there. But it should be, once he got it there, then he just kind of forgot about it, and there never was anything done to restore it and make it usable. It was just boarded up and left there.
The insides of that building is really interesting, so we're hoping we can work to get that interpreted, so. the
Good, it's
public
long
can see it.
overdue.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, it's my only question.
Well, thank you. I have no questions. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Schussler.
regarding case number 2024-0359, also known as Hostard Cabin Restoration, move to approve the staff recommended action as presented in the staff report to the Plan Commission for this case.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schussler, seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, it's unanimous, thank you. I move that we close non-public hearings.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Paul, in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Under other business, you'll note that there's appearance review petitions that are going to be forthcoming. And I'm sure that once decisions are made on those petitions, they will be, as appropriate, brought before us.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
As appropriate.
Did those come before us? We don't get appearance
not-
reviews, do we?
Not the appearance reviews, but the development petitions.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, where it's listed as Fogo de Chao, is that the Olive Garden?
No,
No.
that's Fridays. Isn't it? TGI Fridays?
Yeah, TGI Fridays.
Okay.
Yes. Well, there's a number of appearance review petitions, and they all look, they're all on the positive side, of course. It's all to improve appearances and you know, and improve the utilization of our parks. So, you know, and I'm glad to see it. You know, I'm glad to see it. And any other new business?
Busy.
Yeah, yeah. Any other new business? Well then, it is 8:03, and I move that we close our meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Sanchez.
Aye.
Commissioner Zatar. Aye. Commissioner Nugent.
Aye.
Commissioner Schussler.
Aye.
Commissioner Parisi. Yes. Thank you, staff. And thank you, Joe, for joining us. Okay, folks, have a good one.